Supernova was created November 13th, 2014. Countless players have joined this team since, and several have gone on to have fantastic careers. Jenkins, iconic, tactical. These are but a few of the hallowed players that have passed through the halls of Supernova. For a new
dishing out the damage on the turret. Over the side goes Yukino. They look. That's her. End of the flips and everyone but Korka. Never mind as Doxa takes him down.
It up. Not on their side. A triple kill. Down.
He's looking another guy now. No flashes. Oh, wow.
Not on the war, but he's just gonna flash forward. Deep learning is so low, and that is first blood picked up for the young jungler of Jake's Kittens, and that's a double as well.
going to just straight up hard carry.
Yeah, certainly Young is going to be more of a facilitator this game. Zamudo looking for a kill.
Oh, Taco to scorch the flames, burn him alive. What a play, the ignite.
Might need to come into this. The chase down's going to happen
They're
here.
just going.
The Cyclone, Ayakura going to get isolated from the rest of the team, and I don't know, without a flash, you are going absolutely nowhere. The CC chain is huge. The double kill for Faisal. They set it up, and keep your eyes on Eclipse. He's trying for the last second play. City Witty is keeping them. There's nobody in the base. It's on to the Nexus.
Wait,
they
he
win
actually
the
does
fight,
it. He's going to do
they're
it.
going to
He's
lose
gonna
the game.
He
Eclipse is going to do it. Knows exactly what is happening here. Gonna come down to the smite fight into the pit. He goes.
Oh,
and
he can't
I don't
do it.
think he can get it. It's gonna get secured up the hostile.
Oh,
takeover.
APA,
It
APA.
might be aggro, but it doesn't matter. Meanwhile, in the mid, they're going for the back door. The second time today. We're seeing it, and I do believe Maryville can take the Nexus for the win.
Oh my god. That bit of extra damage, you get a lot of extra gold.
Ooh, dash the
Sniper.
steering charge.
He's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah, a lot. I don't know what he's going to do to try and get the outplay here. They don't want to aggro it, and my goodness, he's actually even able to get the knockup on this one, and dashing and diving and dodging. Oh! He gets
Sniper!
away with it! Sniper! And now the follow-through for Fnatic. It's 2 free.
Sheesh! What a...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier. I am Travesty. I am joined here with my co-caster, Rude Dude. How are you doing, my dude?
I'm doing well. I got a really bad refreshing taco there to start me off. For context to everybody at home, this was a plain soft shell taco. There was nothing inside it. You know, I got a good munch out of it, and I did eat it. It did get consumed, but yeah, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I was a 10 coming in, I'm at about a 9 now after that.
I feel like I'm partially responsible for bullying into this, but we're into it. And hey, look, we got to start off the day hot and ready. We got ourselves some fun matches, and hey, all across the board on both streams, we have ourselves some do or die moments. It is elimination time, and only one team can move forward from each one of these matches.
Yeah, Elimination Monday. We got 4 best of 3s. 4 teams go home, 4 teams go through to the playoffs. 2 here, 2 on the Academy stream. And we're going to be taking you through for the first one. Taco Gaming versus Supernova. This is Group A and B so far. So this is going to be, we'll have Group B on here later. Group A, I believe, is getting showed right now on the Academy stream. Maryville versus Cincinnati Fear. A rematch of their Group 1 matchup up against Third Party and Ginger Turmeric with AoE Ginger Turmeric, which is actually our only non-rematch from the first group out of all 4 teams that have played, all 4 games rather, that have been played today.
Yeah, it's actually interesting as we go through all the groups. It's rematches almost all day. 3 out of 4 matches are all rematches. It's almost like the anime tournament arc is coming into fruition, right? Everybody's trying to figure out who's the protagonist in each one of these groups as they're trying to power up and get vengeance or possibly secure their spot. And hey, there's a lot going on between all of these teams. All these teams have a fight for the life, and as you can see in the bottom right, we have Taco Gaming versus Supernova. That is our matchup here on this stream here today, but we do have the preview of what we got to see and where you can possibly see it. As my co-caster just mentioned, we also have Maryville and CLG Faith are going on the other stream, as well as Team Pending CLG Faith later on in the day. While we're starting off with Taco Gaming Supernova and going over to Ginger to Mary to, you know, spice things up against third party. And you can always see the bracket.
Yeah, this is our playoffs bracket then, if you will. You can see that the winner of our first series gets a challenge regardless.
Yep.
Thrown into 100 Thieves next. Doing very well so far this tournament. Had a rocky best of 3 versus Maryville, it is worth saying, last week, but they're looking very calm and composed, having been able to find the 2-1 from that. And then the winner of our latest series will give the potential for an AoE civil war, as AoE Ginger Turmeric or 3P will be taking on AoE Esports in their quarterfinal match.
Yeah, this is very exciting to be able to see, honestly, just because of the fact of we in our little hype review we had the why do I hear boss music playing, and I feel like I'm hearing it again here inside of this. And like you said, there's all sorts of interesting storylines that come from this, from Civil War to 100 Thieves having to take on whoever might be from Taco Gaming Supernova, but also Jake's Kittens, a scary team, and Ichi Prodigies, who have came out swinging inside this qualifier.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams to be keeping your eye on through the remainder of the bracket. Of course, we have to hem in on our elimination matches. These are group stage day 5. And this is where you can find all of the games. We've iterated it a couple of times, but this is your nice, formal, official how-to guide on where to find the streams, like we said, for the Path to LCS channel that you'll be finding myself and Travi. Taco Gaming versus Supernova starts us off, and then when that series finishes, AoE Ginger Turmeric versus third party will start off.
Yeah, it's looking very exciting across the day, honestly. Every single one of these matchups, I struggled quite a bit. I'll be honest. I sat there, I stared at the prediction sheet, I was trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to turn in, and you know what? I love to see what everybody else is thinking, because usually if they copy me, it bodes well for me. So let's see exactly what it is, and here we are. Wow, Twitter's on my side!
Really? I was not Okay, so first of all, the Cincinnati Fear one. Certainly, you're in the minority there. I will also point out, Travi, your score not looking the hottest.
Don't point that out. Numbers don't matter in this world.
not looking the hottest. You know what I thought? I thought I'd be in the minority with the team pending CLG prediction. I thought you'd be like, everybody would be on this UST hype train. Yeah, but that's not been the case.
Listen, I'm pulling for the core coming up from UST. They just won CLOL Championship. But let's see what else they can do here inside the circuit qualifiers, as 3 out of the 5 players are from there. And then we kind of agree on everything else. So yeah. But hey, on the most important thing, if I get Cincinnati Fear wrong, Twitter's wrong with me. So True. That's good. That's good.
You're actually in the majority there, then, aren't you?
Yeah,
because
technically.
If we take everybody into account, then Twitter has a lot of people, so you're going to be with the fans. At least with Cincinnati Fear, that makes a lot of sense. But we do have our first series. I think we should dial in on that one whilst we've got a bit of game time before the game. Taco Gaming versus Supernova. You got to see it. This is a rematch of a series that went 2-0 in Taco Gaming's favour. But I have to say, to start it off, it was not a 2-0 in the conventional sense. There was a game where Supernova were 10,000 gold to the good, but then didn't quite manage to make it back. And it's also worth mentioning that week tournament where you have had a lot of time or where you won't have had so much time to develop your synergy. Now we're in week 3, and we have seen a lot of improvements from Supernova. They found their own 2-0 last week up against AoE Randoms, and they did look like a very strong, very cohesive team that still have that Supernova style, but that also have got their own little flavors, their own little way to play out mid and late games where we hadn't seen that from them previously.
Yeah, honestly, it was really good to see Supernova. Last week kind of played to some of the strengths. They've been trying to identify ways that they want to play around the map here. And it's important to note, as you were talking about, that a lot of these teams, they did just form like right before the circuit qualifier, while some teammates had other basically synergies that were formed from other teams that they had been a part of. A lot of these players were coming together for the first time, and looking at these two squads, it's looking fun because it's also a story of opposites, right? Like, Taco Gaming has been this team that has been ever so strong at just how they team fight, how they bring that presence into the game, and their mid game is something terrifying to behold.
Yeah, I think that when we're looking at Taco Gaming, we want to draw our attention quite heavily toward CD Widdy. Has certainly been a powerful point for the Taco Gaming squad, utilizing a very cerebral style at just being very, very smart and making the right plays at the right time. This time he's coming up against Actor, who once again, this is a rematch like we say. In the first week, Actor was able to find some snowballs, able to bypass that style of CD Widdy, and really did get that lead going. It was the late game build paths, honestly, of CD and those those more deep thinking styles of approach that I saw a Frozen Heart on a Randuin's in one game. I definitely saw a Frozen Heart up against a Kindred in another. There was a lot of back and forth between these two junglers in very different stylistic aspects. Of course, we've got a lot of other players as well on the board. Notable mentions that I want to keep your eyes on for Supernova. It's Ariandel supporting Actor through the mid lane, and then Eclipse for Taco Gaming in that top side, I think, could really be a standout player to try and facilitate more Taco Gaming success.
You know what? I'm going to double down on that. I'm going to continue these shout outs here because I want to look down at the bot lane too, because if you look at Taco Gaming and Supernova, there's two opposite stories there, where you have Gorica, who has been around inside the amateur scene for so very long, a veteran player who has been ever so present in so many of the games, has been doing a phenomenal job for themselves. Tomato coming in fairly fresh, coming in trying to get that carry play style going for themselves, and last week was a great showing of what Tomato wanted to display. The Kaisa games were legendary. So we kind of have the old guard taking the up-and-coming rookie in the bot lane, and I think that's a very, very spicy matchup to keep your eyes on.
It could be indeed. I really like that point that you bring to, because it was literally legendary, right? Tomato ended the game on the Kaisa, had that legendary tagline, finding kills after an early game where he was fairly heavily punished as well by the AoE random. So it does go to show you that this new guard certainly may look to challenge a bit of the old guard in this game. I think that the mid matchup, just to touch on this one a little bit slightly as well, could be a very interesting one to keep your eyes on. We've touched on Ariandel liking to facilitate Actor, and I think that the way Ariandel does that is through establishing early priority in the mid lane. I'll touch on a little bit more what we expect from Actor as we get into the game, but from Ariandel specifically, getting mid priority, being able to roam around with Actor is how they look to set up their early leads, where Ayukiura has actually been a fairly passive early laner, hasn't necessarily been able to punish those pushes or make roams of her own to make that difference. But I think that as we get more comfortable with Taco Gaming, as she gets more comfortable with the team as well, the Vigor in particular was something that Ayu has been team fighting phenomenally with, setting up nicely for the team in those team fights is something else to keep your eye on for her.
Yeah, I actually love the fact of looking at the matchup too, just because of, to highlight your point, the mid game, that scaling mid style, so strong into the strengths of Taco Gaming. But it feels so weird because yet again we have another time where Ariandel is going to play stuff that shoves out the waves. He's going to move around. He's going to try and move with Actor, get an advantage, and carry that advantage to one of these lanes. Meslo is somebody who can be very effective with a lead and can really pop off inside of a game, and Tomato as well has been finding his own self inside of these games, getting to play that carry style that they feel very comfortable doing such, and it's been a great showing. I'm wanting to know in pick and ban, is there going to be a target thrown at either one of these mids? Because like you said, where one side you do have that Vigor, you have those scaling mids, you have those strong champions there. But Ariandel also has these very strong champions, right? The Talia is one that is very notable right off the top of my head. The old school TF, the Gallios, stuff like that from Ariandel is also something that you have to keep your eyes peeled for.
Do you wanna play a little bit of a game, Trav? Yeah, maybe throwing you a little bit in at the deep end. A little bit of the deep end here. Okay. You're a coach for both of these teams. You have 3 bans. I'll let you take which team you want. You have 3 bans, and you're on blue side, so you're not in red side ban prison where you have to ban all the OP champions.
Okay.
You have 3 bans. Which team do you want to take, and who are you banning?
I think you ban.
So give us the context. Let's say which team are you on?
I'm gonna take it from Taco Gaming's perspective.
Okay. You're banning away from Supernova.
I'm banning from Supernova. I'm gonna go first ban is going to be a Kindred ban. Actor's insanely good at it. And it's a very strong champion when you do have somebody that's willing to back you up on all your plays when you go for those contested stacks. I think you ban Talia as well, because if you don't plan on playing Talia, Ariandel will pick it and will just lock that champion in. I think for your third one, you actually would probably... You either throw it at an 80 carry you don't want to go against, or you try and put another ban into Actor.
Okay. Okay,
I don't have a specific champion there, but
okay.
I think that's what you want to do.
I'll pick up your point then. I think that third ban should either be the Graves for your second point or the Ezreal for the first point, right? We have seen Tomato play a lot of Ezreal.
True.
And if they want to try and capitalize on the potential up and coming rookie, let's say, for Supernova with their more experienced bot lane duo, having him not on Ezreal duty and taking Tomato onto something that not necessarily he'll feel less comfortable with, but that's something that can be easily punished is what I want to go with. Something that you can try and put down a little bit more in the early game with a bit more ease, maybe the best way to go about that. I'll do it from the flip side if I'm banning away from Taco Gaming this time around. I actually think you take away the Graves against City Widdy, and I think that if, in this case, I'm on blue side, I can leave the Kindred open because... I can first pick that for City Widdy himself. But I also think that... Oh, I can first pick that for Actor, excuse me. If I'm banning away from Taco as well, I'm also going to get rid of Camille because I've seen Eclipse do nasty things on a Camille before. And then I want to get rid of Cogmore as well. Cogmore has been a champion that has been teetering around the surface of amateur play and that Gorica has picked out a couple of times. And I think that I actually want to go back and maybe, I'm going to do it. It's my game. I invented it. I'm taking it back, keeping Cogmore off the ban table, but I'm banning Lulu.
Banning Lulu, okay.
For the same reason, but I can then extend that to Vayne and Twitch as well.
And Aphelios too, right? Like we've seen a couple of people fall back to the Aphelios. I like that. It's a good little switch around. It's a good way to keep them on their toes. And look, I like these games that you play. Okay, you're not throwing me in any T-Pay, man. I know how to swim just fine. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is I agree with you in a lot of those cases too, because we do look at these teams and there is identifiable things, right, that are going on inside of these teams that you really have to watch out for. I'm also keeping my eyes as a champion to watch is Viego. Just because of the fact that I do think if we see this champion pop up, I've talked to a couple players and they've said it's just a Viego diff. That has came up a couple discussions.
Late game, disgusting. You can never. It's the reset factor, right? You can change team fights, you can change skirmishes because as a bruiser in general, you tend to have cooldowns, right? And if you've got cooldowns, there tends to be a lower spike in your damage output versus a high spike one that's cooldowns are up. When you play Viego, you get rid of that if you get that first reset. As soon as that first initial kill comes through, you get a fresh batch of cooldowns to go, oh, lovely, let me see what I can cast here, and you get an ult reset, and then by the time you've done all that, and you get back into Viego form, you have all your cooldowns back up again. It's beautiful, right? This champion in the late game is very good, and I can completely understand, completely respect the Viego diff, because I think that the reset capability of this champion in a late game team fight is just something that is unparalleled.
I like how it's the Viego form. It's not he goes back to himself. He takes back his old form. He takes back the Viego form.
He's been unpossessed. He unpossessed himself essentially to become Viego 1.0.
That's a terrifying thing if you're able to possess yourself. it's definitely it's something to keep our eyes peeled on, and I do believe we just have a couple tech difficulties, which is why we're kind of going through everything. So we should get that here sorted very shortly, so that way we can kind of go into what the picks and bans are.
Can see how good we are as coaches as well. You know.
Yeah.
See how correct we were, or how just completely off we are.
Dude, we could get points that way. Can I add points to my predictions if I was correct on that?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to check with behind the scenes on that. That may be a little bit too extra. I did say yes, but I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge, unfortunately. Could I be? Can I steal the job? I go,
not.
My job now. Thank you. I'm in charge. Thank you. I don't need to be here then.
You never have to eat a taco shell on live podcast. It's really
an empty taco shell with nothing inside it. Maybe, you know what? As far as things that I've got, once I did a charity stream for the Benelux region, for Belgium, Luxembourg, and I had to dip Oreos in water and eat that. So, as far as forfeits that I've had to eat, or things that I've done for broadcast go, taco shell that's empty, not the worst thing in the world.
I don't like any of that you just said. I don't like
Neither did I, but it was for charity. It was worth it.
You know what? You always do it for charity. But yeah, I think that's great. I think we're looking at this game also being a very exciting one too, just because of the fact of how exciting it is. I hope we don't get that taco that doesn't have the meat and the cheese and all that stuff inside of it. Because,
we're hoping for substance.
Yeah, we're hoping for that substance inside this game, because whoever goes on here, and I want to retouch on a point that you talked about earlier when we were talking about playoffs, do have to go against 100 Thieves next. I think that's a powerful matchup that you have to go into. They won one of the circuit qualifiers last time. They have been looking incredible throughout. They did find themselves in a tricky scenario last week. They almost found themselves knocked off a bit. Taco Gaming could fight them on another Tuesday, but Supernova, what a statement it would be if they win, go on, and then take down 100 Thieves. These two squads could have the potential.
I think that for this series, I either want it to be like a fast 2-0 to give the team momentum, or it needs to be just 3 40-minute end-to-end nail biters.
All right, we'll see if we'll be biting some nails, but the tech issues are still going on, so we're going to take ourselves a short little break, and when we come back, we'll be looking to bring you the hottest and greatest of Proving Grounds action, so don't touch that browser. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are getting into the draft. Thank you for staying tuned with us and being patient as we are ready to see what Spice, Taco Gaming, and Supernova have in store for us.
We're 2 for 2. We're 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Coach Travi, Coach Rude, we're doing okay so far.
Yeah.
I think we missed on the 3 out of 3. But I think so far what I saw was Talia and Lulu Band. We predicted both of those.
Yes.
We're 2 for 3. That's not the end of the world. There's that other one. Galio and Karma. So double enchanter, banned away from Rovex. I think that this is honestly a really wise strategy to go for. I think that Rovex is an incredibly good enchanter player. What I would say, though, I would err on the side of caution when thinking about Rovex's champ pool, just because he's actually got a very mean Tom Kench. I saw him when he played last split. Was incredibly scary with the Tom Kench. Had multiple very good saves onto Lynx, who was his at the time AD carry. But we've got that double ADC ban, or double support ban, so limiting the ADC's capabilities in the laning phase as well. And then the Kindred that we kind of expected.
Yeah, but there's that Graves you were talking about. Then Taco Gaming have already started hovering it. They know that they want this for City Witty.
No surprises, honestly. Yes, we've still got things like Wukong and Viego open, but the Graves is just a pick that City Witty just feels so comfortable on, and enables a fairly clear-oriented and fairly cerebral style of play that I imagine City Witty will be able to play into very nicely. Got the bans from Taco Gaming as well. They do get rid of one of Ariendel's classic comfort picks in the Galio, as well as that Talia being banned away, and then the Gwen that is taken out from Supernova's hands. Meslo had a number of very good performances on that pick, so getting rid of that one, no surprises. They actually lock in Lilia Renekton. This is a very early combo to go for. I don't think the Lilia is bad by any means, but showing your hand with this Renekton so early on potentially could be that flex pick. There's a chance that we see it going to the mid lane, but with this you're looking at potential just heavy deep dives on in the early stages of this game. And what I was going to say about Taco Gaming was, with Robax having a very good Tom Kench, Senna TK is a very potent bot lane right now, and with this being open and available to Taco Gaming, there's no surprises in my mind if they lock it both in.
Yeah, it makes the most sense too. Gorko's very proficient on the Senna, just in general. So this is great. You grabbed yourself a nice bot lane, but like you were talking about, Tomatoes, Ezreal is something to be feared, and he is going right onto what he is most comfortable on.
Yeah, takes that, and it means that for Supernova right now, it just looks like a very heavy topside style of play that they're opting into. Nothing that we haven't seen from them before. They do like to play toward this mid-jungle duo, getting themselves set up for success early on. This time, it does look like they're potentially going to be playing a little bit more around Meslo, setting him up for success, and I think that now they just should be taking away some mid laners, or top laners rather, that they don't feel too comfortable diving. It looks like they've opted a different direction and pinched Ayukura's champion pool a little bit, so she's going to be feeling a little less comfortable in that mid matchup. But I think that for Taco right now, their leading goal should just be find something safe and stable on that top side, round out with a nice AP mid laner. There are still plenty available for Ayu to go for, and you can see what Taco Gaming have done is try and remove some of those safe supports to lane with the Ezreal, or at the very least get rid of the roaming style of support as well, which also pairs nicely because you can make plays around the map. That Bard, certainly number one.
Yeah, but hey, that's a Rakan lock in, and they want to make sure that they get this counter pick to Ariandel, and lots of power still left open, and you were hyping up Eclipse earlier.
Okay.
Gangplank, man.
Interesting. Okay, so I was expecting just a big tank to come out, make sure that this top lane matchup was never going to be too easy for Meslo to run over, but it looks like we're going for a Bruiser-esque style of top lane matchup where we're going to see a lot of skirmishing, a lot of fighting early on. Should be fairly exciting to see how that one ends up playing out. But with that Syndra locked in the mid lane as well, a champion that has fallen out of the meta quite significantly, but Ayukura very proficient at it all the same. And if you look at that Travi, there's a chance that I mentioned this Renekton got flexed. I think that when they showed this very early on, it was fairly well facilitated, very much telegraphed that they would flex this Renekton. And now we have two quote-unquote top laners that we have seen glimpses of play for in the mid lane.
I am very curious on how the Renekton in the mid lane will turn out here. Does, you can look at Meslo's chase, and Meslo's chase is pretty solid. Can really crush the matchup. It's very aggressive, right? But I'm more so interested because whenever you talk about Renekton in a jungle, you were talking about it earlier on. You talk about how they pair together, and our selling point on Supernova is how do you pair Ariandel and Actor together? Well, hey, let's do Renekton but mid.
Yeah, that's what they've kind of just written the script for themselves, I suppose. This is a very different take on what I was expecting from Supernova. Normally, Ariandel doesn't play these high damage styles of picks where he wants to, potentially be a carry, consistently pumping out that damage in the late game. Not to say that Ariandel isn't a carry, that's a disservice to him. The Renekton, though, isn't a champion that we've necessarily seen in his wheelhouse. I think that this, for a mid matchup as well, probably won't be too bad. These are two champions that definitely got felt, or definitely feel a lot worse after durability patch, both Renekton and the Syndra. So how they'll be able to mash up against one another in the mid lane, certainly up for debate, but I think that this is still going to be a fairly standard early game for Supernova with that Renekton Nidalee potentially just going for dives in and out quick as you like, and that could very well, like I say, fall on Eclipse to have to try and play safe because he did get counterpicked in that top lane. That Jace into the GP matchup, you can imagine Meslo finds favourable, and we'll have to see if they can facilitate some topside success with this potential of Rakan roams. Pluto not really going to be bound by a bot lane, knowing that Tomato should be safe enough in the 1v2 situation, potentially goes down in farm, but that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, on the bright side of things, Eclipse, he's bringing plenty of oranges. They're very much so full of vitamin K, which means that he'll be K. It'll be fine. He has oranges. He doesn't have to worry about a thing, yo. But I personally, I look back over to the bot lane. I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. You got to storm the weather. You got to weather some shot blasts coming out from an acceleration gate. But over in the bot lane, you talked about it earlier on. Senna Tom Kench, buddy. Like, that can be a disgusting thing, and we've talked about it time and time again. Taco Gaming is so clean about team fighting and playing around these neutral objectives. If they play around that, that could be a very devastating lane that can get out of control.
Yeah, I think that the Supernova do need to be very careful leaving Tomato on that island in that bot lane, because Senna TK can dive. TK has effectively 2 health bars if you use that grey health efficiently. I think that you can get in, get out with the damage from a Senna early on, and also TK's base damages. You can 1v1 ADCs if you're not under the turret, so, you know, when you are, it's a little bit more scary, but you do have your Senna there to back you up. A 1v2 death for Tomato is very much on the card, so the roam timers need to be smart from Pluto. You can't be having very, you know, haphazard roams up to the top side that don't necessarily generate any advantages back for yourself, because this is a very telegraphed composition that Supernova went for in terms of we're going to be playing toward that top side. And I think that early on what I want to do is keep our eyes on Actor, because in the last 2 games he played up against AoE randoms, he had a very set style of how he'd play out the first 2 to 3 minutes of the game. It was essentially clear my first 3 camps, go into mid lane, push with Ariandel, and then that frees Ariandel up to roam with Actor to go and invade on the enemy's bot side or invade on the enemy's jungle, where we expect this time round Siddy Widdy to be just clearing his camps and potentially have to give some of those up with that mid jungle duo that would be that we expect to see roaming around fairly early on. If Supernova have adapted, if they've gone for a different strategy for these early games, still remains to be seen, of course, but that was something that they were very high on doing in the last series they played.
Yeah, I also want to kind of reflect on how Lilias have been getting played inside of the circuit qualifier, right? Like, we have seen some very fast clear speeds. We have seen them get impaired with AD mids. Most typically, it's not the Renekton, of course, but it's usually like the Lucian, right? That we've seen a lot of the Lilia-Lucian combo that has popped up here and there, and we've seen that on these aggressive mid laners that have been coming out, trying to get these early leads and securing them for themselves, and it's been very proactive. I'm kind of looking to see if that same idea is going to translate for them as well, right? Like, they could be looking at, you know, hey, look, as you were talking about Ariandel, you want to carry? Bro, here you go. Get that early lead, roam around the map, slice and dice all of Taco Gaming's hope and aspirations. It's Monday, bro. Like, what do you have to fear? I like this idea that could possibly come out if they go with this theory of how it normally works. The big difference, of course, is Lucian is ranged and can just double tap anybody he wants to. Renekton has a little bit more issues, especially with Scatter the Weak Up, but it's still a very, very interesting dynamic to look for from this early core that Supernova has drafted.
Yeah, and now, of course, when we look, you know, we talked on Supernova's early game. We can touch a little bit more what we expect from both these teams as the game goes later and later on. Taco Gaming with the Eclipse on this GP, with the Senna as well. They do have a lot of scaling into that late game. If they get to that point, they probably have a better team fighting composition than Supernova do, but it's not to say that they don't slouch in the early or in the late game stages as well. Jace at some point, set behind, far ahead, whatever. 3 items comes through, Meslo deals damage. The same for Tomato. Every single item after Merman is completed feels like such a boost to an Ezreal's power spike.
Yeah.
That when you get to those late game stages, they are going to have their own tools to fight back with as well. So even if it's a fairly slow-paced early game that Supernova don't get those leads in, they do still have those tools in the late game to try and fight with. Like I say, my concern is, can they fight up against a late game Senna and a GP? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think that's the scary thing. You can't arcane shift from the outplay button of the Syndra either, right? Like, that could be something that you do have to worry about. This is a Conqueror Ezreal as well, as we've seen quite a few that have gone either Conqueror or press the attack in a lot of these matchups. So
yeah, so it is geared a little bit more toward that late game aspect then. Making sure that your team fight damage is certainly going to be present as well. Little call out for Gorica there, doesn't have the TG tag since they played in CLOL. Commiserations, of course, to Gorica for the top 8 finish. Still got to go though, was very nice.
Yeah. Tomato flashing away, being safe. We got a little bit of a scuffle though. Siddy Widdy had the wrap and was completely unseen in this. He's going to be able to find a kill off this. Smites are going in. They're going to smite over, jump over the wall, and Siddy Widdy finds the kill onto Actor. Tomato still poking and prodding away on Siddy Widdy, but his reinforcements here. There is nothing further that Tomato can do to salvage this camp.
Absolutely gorgeous from Taco Gaming. We talked about Actor's early level plans. If he wanted to do his first 3 camps and go invade, he is now completely scuppered on that one. That is not going to be an option. He's not even going to get to clear his first camp pre 2 minutes into the game. Heavy trading on that top side, but that's just Meslo trying to establish priority and doing a good job at it. But this is so important for the early game for Supernova. You can see Gorka and Rovex, they get first control over the bot lane wave. Yep. Same can be said as well for this top side for Meslo. Keeps going in here, Eclipse.
Yeah, it needs to be careful. We got a trade going back and forth. No Ignite available. That is going to be the shot going forward, not an auto to follow. And thankfully that potion was ticking away, so Meslo will be able to regen a bit.
But now his wave is in a very bad position. Eclipse has got complete control over this lane state. It's been pushed, and he can basically freeze this for eternity if he knows that Meslo finds a base. Wouldn't be surprised to see Eclipse just leave this one here, go back to base both of the top laners, TP back with full HP, with full control over their health pools. This could be very scary for Taco Gaming to... for Meslo to start us off.
Yeah, and you can see as things are going about, they did get some nice wards on Actor 2, and I want to highlight this because one of the big things that I've always thought was a huge strength for Taco Gaming is how smart is City Witty. Look at this. He has smelt out this play. He goes in, smoke screens. Ariandel's here slicing and dicing, but he's not doing any damage. So here we go, the flash forward. They are going to be able to find the kill, and City Witty overestimates his strengths.
Yeah, just a little too much there. Neither of his solo lanes have got priority. Yes, Ayukura tries to shadow, but it's not quite enough. Ariandel's flash, plus that stun, makes enough come through. And Actor happy to find some revenge for that early level 1 exchange. Nice little play from Supernova, and you could see both of the, or at least for Ariandel's case, he was holding that wave until a point when Actor needed something to come and get some help from in the river. As soon as he says, okay, I'm going to go contest, we're going to, we push that wave, we go and help out. It's just really good coordination, really good timing, and exactly what we've come to expect from Supernova.
Actor really wants vengeance. He wants another blue buff. He gets it. He's able to secure it, going bowling, and this is the aggression that Actor brings to the table. Meslo has roamed as well. Acceleration gate popped. And Pluto is here with the gang as well. All 4 members of Supernova here inside the top half of the jungle.
Oh, Gorka's here too.
Yeah, they get him. They'll be able to do a good amount of damage with the slice and dice. The stun comes through. They find the kill on City Witty, and it is looking good for Supernova to start things off.
Yeah, Eclipse is holding Meslo out of his top side, but the rest of Supernova should be here to respond fairly soon. That pink is not easy to go for.
Not easy at all. Meslo fighting off Eclipse. Actor is here in the brush. He hasn't left at all. Pluto with the long wrap around. He is going in. He's taking the tower shots for this play, and they're securing. Eclipse goes down. Another kill for Supernova.
Oh, the value roams I talked about Pluto needing, they are there in abundance. We are 5 minutes into this game, Travi, and after Supernova got first blooded and the entirety of Actor's initial pathing got absolutely destroyed, they have made 3 kills come back. Pluto roams up, gets 2 kill contribution for the plays in the top side of the map, and it's a gorgeous resurgence into this game. Now Actor may well find City Witty here as he tries to clear out the remainder of the wolves, but Gorka there looking for some souls. Not sure that it's safe to go for, as Actor just going to finish off clearing those wolves out and may look to fight, honestly.
Yeah, he's looking to scrap, man. He's got that speed boost. He's ready to bring the staff down. Not going to find anybody. Everybody has realized from the side of Taco Gaming, hey, this has been a bit over-aggressive. The overzealousness has cost him a quick series of unfortunate events here. As we have seen time and time again, Supernova now have shored up this gold lead.
Yeah, and sort of established it for themselves as well. I mean, whenever you get a level 1 like that as Actor, I'd be very much in a worse way than he's been. You know, at this stage in the game, 2-1, we found 2 kills back. They're going to get another maybe here.
Yeah, but let's go bowling cousin. City Witty gets hit by it. The tag is there, but City Witty finds his teammates and finds friendship. He will be able to chase him off with the efforts of a shotgun. City Witty stays safe.
Probably likely to start up that dragon. Looks like, in fact, they're just going to keep it to themselves, continually looking to harass the bot side of Taco Gaming. For that top lane, despite the early death, Eclipse has been able to largely sustain himself in that top matchup. Got some boots to try and dodge away from the Jace poke, and that Sheen, the all-important gangplank item, means that it's very difficult to lose out on short order trades. If you walk up and parlay, you tend to be able to win out.
Just a win button. Goodbye, Ward. You will be sorely missed, as this is a nice bit, and this is going to what Supernova like to do. They're getting this nice early aggression. We're seeing it constantly. Actor is already on the map again. Look at this, already invading yet again, dude.
Yeah, this time he doesn't have the support of Ariandel. You can see that he is currently basing, but does have TP. And Sidiwidi, again, just, why are you in my jungle?
He is chasing him off, just shaking his hand at him angrily. But
yeah.
Actor going back over to this mid wave will be able to come in here with Ariandel. Won't tag him. There's a blue buff.
Look at the camps. Look at it's not a blue buff. Look at the bot side of Taco Gaming. There's a red buff. There's a Raptor camp. It's Tomato actually taking a reset there. I think is probably the reason they've stopped. But they're once again scrapping around this mid jungle.
Catch out Pluto.
Still onto Pluto, but he's fine. He's able to get out.
Is he fine? He's got a lot of damage, and power has been unleashed upon him. A beautiful catch out there, started by Gorka.
Okay, never mind. Take my words back. They have been minced as Ayukura. She just flashes in. No remorse. I will quite happily take a freebie. Thank you very much.
Listen, that's what we want to see. That's that killer instinct
that
does come out from these players here from Taco Gaming. We talk about this team. Every player is a threat. And Supernova have to respect that.
And I want to give a little bit of credit over to Ayakura here. If she doesn't get killed in this mid lane effort, looks like it's just going to be a push to stop her from being able to establish a firm control over the lane. But the slights, or the very minute syndrome mechanics that are actually very difficult to pull off, I've seen her pull off multiple times. May not have time to highlight it as two people invading. Now, this is on complete vision. Taco Gaming are aware of this. The issue is, can they do anything about it? Maybe going to try and stop them at the golems, because this is something that Supernova will try and do. Just take everything from you and see if they can get away with it.
Yeah, looking to see if they can get away with it. Tomato getting jumped onto by Revet, so stops him from doing too much, but he still gets a plate for his effort. And this is nice for their side. Sidiwidi caught out of position here. 6 is available, but check it out. Gorka has had the back, and the Wilting Lullaby will not do enough. Slice and dice the Dominus pop. Ariandel finds a kill. It's a trade of 1-for-1.
Both junglers fall, and honestly, that feels kind of poetic, this game. Both of them have just been searching time and time again. What jungle camps have you got up? No, what have you got up? Can I take them away from you? And they both get caught. They've both been punished. Han's been trapped in multiple cookie jars at this point. But it is, so far, a slight lead to Supernova. And I say slight, it is only, 600-700 gold. And they feel like they're the ones who are just coming out on top of these plays. This is a replay of that skirmish. From the Supernova perspective there, we get the little vision that Axa had. Gets a little bit surprised, but fortunately, just in time, we see the damage come through from that collateral damage. But imagine this GP ulti was slightly better placed. There's a world where Ariandel's not able to find that kill. Potentially Sidiwidi can try and kite that out. Unfortunately, just a little bit too off on the timings there. But overall, once again, we default back to this state, and overall, we've not really seen anybody establish complete control, but we've had our fair share of action.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of action. We have seen Supernova has been the proactive, right? That it has been a lot of Taco Gaming reacting and coming out fine in regards to everything that's been happening. It's a storm, and Tacos are here to weather that storm. They've been doing a fantastic job at doing just that, and like you said, only an 800 gold lead. That's fairly all right, I would say, with how chaotic this early game has been.
To say that we've had so much action, it's a surprise that neither team is so far ahead of one another. And it's at this point that we've got to give credit to those people that have been, playing largely on their weak side and that have been still able to establish, fair amounts of gold either way. I think I could give good credit to Tomato, who, granted, has had TP to cheat back into the laning phase once, but by and large, still very much within the remits of control of this matchup to equal CS with his CSing partner this time, not his laning partner necessarily. But, good job all around. Both Rovex and Tomato have been able to make their presence felt whilst also securing that CS.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful thing from them. Rovet's doing a great job farming up, making sure to be that threat. That way, Tomato can't just have free reign down here, because Gorka's been roaming all the time, right? Like, Gorka's been on the map just about as much as Pluto has been. And that's amazing in of itself.
Yeah, the issue is, Senna does much less in those roams than a Rakan does. There's a reason that we've seen Pluto have much better times, I suppose, of much more high-impact plays. But it is worth noting that, currently, Gorka, the only one with 100% kill participation.
Yeah. true. 100% has been there. When the team has needed the most, nice couple of plates to be dropped over, and City Witty going in onto Meslo. This is going to be a hard situation. Flash is available for him. He turns around on the City Witty. The smoke screen there isn't enough to burn anything.
Always hard to gank a Jace as these short range carries with the ability to just to the skies on top of you. Gorica's a little bit worse for wear here. They're certainly taking the rough end of that trade, but Tomato with no true shot barrage, not threatening the kill. But like I say, it's difficult to try and gank a Jace as you are those short range carries with the ability for Jace to just Q onto you and then knock you away as soon as he walks to the other side. You can see Meslo there, you know, holding his nerve, not burning flash, not burning any summoner spells unnecessarily. Nice little escape on the top side.
You want to know something amazing? We are 13 minutes into the game and a dragon has not been taken yet.
Do you think they've had time to take dragons? These guys have been constantly counter-jungling one another. There was a point in this game where the only people that had mythics were the people that had died invading one another every single time. They're spending no time about neutral objectives. City Witty spent maybe 10 seconds out of his heavy counter-jungling schedule to get a Rift Herald. But that was about it. And he put that down mid lane and carried on farming.
Both these junglers looking to do just that. You can see Actor doing it. A dive, possibly from Eclipse, but Actor here to cover. A wilting Lullaby will be a nightmare for Eclipse, but a beautiful flash to burn isn't enough. No, the potions aren't enough to keep him alive. Leandres ain't enough, but Dragon secured on the opposite end. A fight happens in the mid lane. Arian Dell find himself in trouble. Had to pop the Dominus as the Unleashed Power was there. City Witty here to cover, and that's a grand entrance and quickly being made. And a beautiful series of flash in bold, and now Ariandel slicing and dicing forward. More shots are firing. Boy, oh boy, we got a scrappy game here.
Yeah, a lot of pretty colors. Nobody dies, but there was a lot of summoner spells burnt as well. Credit once again, Ayukura, brilliantly timed cleanse flash. Saw Pluto go for the engagement. Quickness also flashes in for even less reaction time, but Ayukura cleanses in time so that she's no longer charmed and then can flash out of the knock-up from the grand entrance. Genuinely very difficult to pull off. Pluto went for the outplay, didn't manage to find it, and we get to see why both those summoner spells are so valuable to an immobile mage.
That feels so bad for Taco Gaming, I feel like, too, because there was so many turnarounds. Eclipse barely surviving, then Dragon secured for Taco Gaming. Just a whole bunch of things that definitely did not go in Supernova's favor to start things off. And Gorka, yet again, is roaming here to this top side.
Yeah, can he get into this brush without being seen is that question. Potentially.
Oh, Flash comes forward. They're abusing the fact you got no sums, baby. Ariandel finds the kill.
Beautiful stuff. Really what you like to see. Certainly gets away with it. Now Meslo needs to be careful.
He needs to be careful, but caution is not in his dictionary. He's just going to flash away.
Oh, well, he may be looking to go back forward. 3 people roaming top for Supernova.
Yeah, they're roaming up. Actor will be here first. No wilting Lullaby, but they're going to be able to get the kill anyways. Meslo brings the hammer down and takes down Gorica. City Witty looking to possibly catch him off, but will just grab the crab and retreat to the safety of the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, 4 people now moving into Supernova's topside jungle once again, stealing as many camps as possible. You can see on the bot side as well, really nice stuff from Tomato. Takes the Gronk to secure that, make sure that City Witty can't get that for themselves either. Potential blue buff steal, but you can see that on the minimap, everything is getting pinged out. They want to make sure that this jungler cannot get back that gold that was lost. And like I said, so far both of these junglers got their mythics very early on, still looking to accelerate themselves, still can be very present carries in the late game. On this durability patch, we do see a lot of Riftmaker Lilias. That is not the case this time. Actor going for this AP route.
Yeah, City Witty, you might have gotten the first blue buff, but you ain't getting it again, man.
Well, City Witty is just caught, but gets gobbled up by Robex. Actually, makes it out to safety there. Nice little usage of the Devour to keep the jungler alive once again. Caught where you shouldn't really be. Had attempted to steal the blue buff, but Pluto right there ready to stop it from going away.
Catch makes me so mad, and this is another reason why. He just takes an Abyssal Voyage over the wall, forces the flash. Nice. Beautiful use from Tomato, showing his mastery of the Ezreal, and stays safe in this possible troublesome situation.
Okay, not bad. Good little E-flash right there. Gets out to enough safety. Now Eclipse needs to be careful. Or is it Meslo?
Be careful! It's Meslo who needs to be careful. I had to pop that barrel before he got popped himself. Scatter the weak onto Ariandel, but he ain't anything. He is not weak at all as he just continues to re-engage back into the Sintra's face.
Yeah, I mean, no scatter there, and Ayakura has to take a different path round, misses a couple of minions under the turret, but overall, it's not the most damning thing in the game. Certainly still down in farm, and Ariandel, who we, more customly acquaint with the roam style, has done a very good job at keeping that farm up and not necessarily having to sacrifice so much to get these leads back. Stun hits, but it shouldn't mean all that much. The hasn't even got Merc Treads. I think that was Tenacity from Legend, I suppose, that's keeping the Renekton nice and safe. Potential for unflinching as well.
Events here on the roam. We are getting into your featured ARAM presentation here. All the champions have approached into the mid lane. We got a song and dance that we love to sing, and they're just looking to see who will make the first misstep.
Really, it's been a case of, even if you don't make a misstep, we will force you to do something. We're going to go for a fight in some capacity, whether it's invading your jungle, whether it's, trying to take these objectives like the Rift Herald this time round. We haven't had a lack of action. There's always been some sort of skirmish going on. There's a lot of want, a lot of desire to both of these teams to make that statement early on. And, having came into this series, a lot of people, thinking, okay, this is going to be a lot closer than the first time round. Game number one, certainly showing that it can be. Certainly showing that with Supernova's gold lead here, they have got a way to not just win these early games, but potentially try take a little bit of mid-game standing as well and put themselves with a game on the board.
My fear is it enough? As you can see, City Witty is in a situation here over inside of it. He is jumped upon, dragon stolen, but Tom Kench, the hero he needed, he gets into the mouth, and now the rest of the team has arrived. Shotgun shooting onto Ariandel in the back. Actor trying to run away with his life. Goes golden, dodges the unleashed power, but can't dodge the rest of the pain.
No!
Fails the flash and gets shot as he gets taken down, but it's a trade of kills. It is still the Tom Kench going away. It is also Tomato that is kept at bay. They are able to stop Meslo. He tries to bring the hammer down. He will get Gorica, but it's 1-for-1 trading back and forth, but in favor of Taco Gaming as they weather everything that Supernova has to throw at him.
And Taco Gaming, with the ones that got engaged on City Witty, is still alive, still free-firing, somehow, some way, able to sustain the entire team fight. Pluso, the only survivor for Supernova. Eclipse wasn't even in that fight, and Taco Gaming, you asked if it was enough from Supernova to be able to take these fights. You, I believe, are probably referring to a little bit later on in the game, but no. As we've seen with these teams, it is right from the off. The second there's something to fight for, they go for it, and it's Taco Gaming that come out on top. The gobble from Rovex once again saves his jungler, and he acts as the best front line. Look at how long City Witty A buys here, and the cooldowns they expend. I think that's, Lilting Lullaby plus quickness for nothing. They don't get anything from this. And then, we draw our eyes up to that top side, right? We've got Actor buying a lot of time. He does go down. But look at Rovex. He's zoning 3 people here as the Tom Kent, making sure that they can't get in. Unfortunately, new Renekton buffs mean grey health, pretty much nothing. You just shred through that shield and then have a good time. But the GP ulti also fairly massive to say the Gangplank wasn't in the fight, not necessarily doing a service to him. Gorica getting caught a little bit with level 8 support syndrome, gets pretty much one-tapped by the 2 solo laners who with 4 levels on him never really take too long to cut through a low-leveled AD carry. But Aikura finishes off that job 2 for 4, and they get the Drake. I think they lost the Drake actually, but overall, a very good fight for Taco Gaming, reaffirming themselves as having a chance at this one.
Yeah, I mean, the gold lead hasn't been able to shift anywhere past an undesirable state, right? It's stayed, I think the highest it's gotten has been a 2K. Supernova hasn't been able to extend it past that, and this is where Taco Gaming becomes scary. This is where they feel the most comfortable. When they are team fighting, when they are going through these situations where they are moving together as a group of 5 or even a group of 4, as we saw there, where Eclipse is able to kind of just do his own thing, being unanswered in a lane, and being able to still give that support with the gameplay. This teamfight proudness is what has made Taco Gaming such an exciting team to watch. City Witty will find Meslo. Lots of damage coming in. Hammer form, not going to be able to catch it though. The charm hits, but City Witty gets over the wall.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate.
And I don't think the charm hit. I know for sure that the knockup didn't come through, and I think that actually City was able to just in time cast the collateral damage to get over the wall. Now Eclipse got those barrels, can kite fairly easily, tries to get away from pretty much all 5 members of Supernova who are down here. You can see the split push Robex, not a role that he's probably particularly familiar with, but he's having a good time with that top turret at the minute, as Supernova making a very big commitment down to this bot side.
You know what? I like this though, because Robex has been the thorn in Supernova's side for the past 2 fights that we've seen them take, right? That Devour, that Gulp has been so tilting to have to deal with for this squad. And City Witty taking so much poke there. They have to weather so much here from these 4 members.
Well, the question is, can they, right? We've got Gangplank Wave Clear, which should be enough to get rid of these waves largely in time.
Lateral damage had to be used again. City Witty repositioned himself. The dance continues, and while this all happening, it was a slow process, but Tom Kench did get that top tower.
Yeah, it's a little glacial fist. He's really trying this Frostfire Gauntlet, attempting to do overtime, hitting away on those turrets. He's really going ham. He's just licking it down, making sure that death by 1,000 cuts essentially for that top turret. Really good stuff for Taco Gaming overall. They trade a turret for essentially some bot side camps. City really not going to be able to collect those, but despite all of this counter jungling, despite all of this invading that has been going on, City is still even in farm, even in those, CS numbers where we were expecting Supernova to just be ahead by the nature of how much we've seen them go forward.
Oh, Actor, your own side doesn't get tagged. Did do a little bit of damage in exchange. Dragon coming up in less than 10 seconds, and the whole gang is here as they are looking for a possible engage. Ariandale is the person who's going to get tagged up. The Dominus has been used. Root will connect, and there's over here onto the side. Look at the Syndra gets into the belly. Robex MVP coming in clutch. The damage is there. The Syndra is still barely alive. Ariandale can't say the same though. He don't know what it's like. City Witty is relentless on his pursuit, trying to see if he can get these low HP bars. A double kill for Eclipse.
Oh,
Make it
Eclipse!
a trip. He wants more. He wants Pluto, but it's just out of his range, and Baron is on the mind of Taco Gaming.
And a fight that lives on the knife's edge for the longest time gets saved. It's Eclipse that comes up with the triple kill, but Robex that helps out the mid lane. Once again, this Tom Kench tool is something that you cannot give over to Taco Gaming. Robex, he did this last split. He does it this split as well. Has saved his jungler twice, now Ayakura twice. Taco Gaming are going to defer back to the Baron. They'll get the Dragon as well. 4 kills for them, and both objectives. This could not have got better for TG.
I mean, look at how this fight even starts out. It's
Look
so
at this.
scattered, and it
Ayakura
looks
caught
so
out on
good.
the bot side of the fight. Gets engaged on Robex. No hesitation. Flash gobble. Thank you very much. I'll take that big shield as well whilst I'm here. And it's Eclipse looking for these barrels and a big 3-man scatter. I missed that in the fight. Ayakura comes in to basically save it, to turn the tides back around and find that stud, which actually turned the fight in favour. Eclipse with some wise target selection here, flashes forward, elects to take down the AD carry as opposed to the support. But my oh my, they're back at it again as Pluto has to battle dance out to safety.
It's so good, and I...
Oh, they
like
caught
that.
Ayu.
Oh wait, they got Syndra. Syndra died in that.
Yeah, okay.
So, beautiful scatter of the week. We'll say that was a caster curse. We didn't know it was cursed, but we did hype them up, and so they must fall. But
Yeah.
this bot lane is so impressive for Taco Gaming. Really and truly. Like, there's even 100% KP still on Gorka on this set.
Still going. With Dawning Shadow at this point, there's a chance that doesn't go away at all. The issue with having picked off Ayakura, at least for Taco Gaming, is that it does slow down their Baron roll a little bit. It means that they can't get out onto the map as quickly as they maybe would have liked. But they do still have about 90 to 100 seconds left with that cooldown available. There's 3 turrets outside the base that we expect them to try and take down to try and establish that gold lead more concisely, more firmly in their favour, to build up and now start to put the final touches on this game. It may feel weird to say since it's been so close for so long, but if they can get those turrets down, that will really be the beginning of what Taco Gaming are looking to end out with.
Yeah, I think this is just like where they are looking so confident. And look at this. They're just able to get out of range yet again. This is like the 3rd time in a row we have seen Pluto ult, and it's just out of his range.
Yeah, City Witty is just playing a menace right now. Actor, you know, a little bit caught, but Ayukura's been baited a couple of times by that Zhonya's, not going to fire the Unleashed Power when that cooldown is available. The chunk is enough. The damage that goes down takes Actor to about half HP, and it means that that top turret going to be taken down. Now City Witty and Eclipse fighting in the mid lane.
Yeah, Ariandel is in a troublesome spot here. He has
Barrel
the flash,
hits, wow.
but can't get away. City Witty is so bloodthirsty now inside this mid game. He's chasing everybody down. And look at this, man. Taco Gaming is just laying siege everywhere.
Yep, outer turrets, inner turrets, they'll take everything here that you've got. The turrets that are defending your base, that are trying to defend your inhibitors, are slowly going to be felled, and City Witty is just walking forward with reckless abandon, does not care. With Rovex in his back pocket, the world is their oyster for Taco Gaming, making just plays all over the rift and trying to get as much from this Baron as possible. Eclipse has been holding down that mid lane fort and getting, you know, not just kills, but also that turret in the mid being taken down. He's now at 3 items on this gangplank. They've ran out of Baron, so their siege may well end here, but they do have a little bit of time whilst they were waiting for the respawn. They could still go for this mid tier 3.
They are going for it, man. There's no way to stop it, right? Like, how do you stop just Taco Gaming from being able to assert their will at this point in time? At least they don't give up a mid inhibitor, but it's now open. It is fair game for them to go for it. Tomato, we're seeing those barrels. They are getting to a critical point of damage. Yeah,
they're very slowly ticking their way up, and fortunately with the build path that Eclipse has gone for, it's not necessarily those full barrel one-shots. It is Navori Quick Blades, I believe, the third item of choice that Eclipse has, so it's not so much geared for the one-shot capabilities just yet, more so being able to dish out those parlays at a moment's notice.
It's the next dragon spawning. It's not Soul, because we've had a midst of a very long first dragon, and then both teams had kind of switched around the first 2 dragons between the 2 of them. So not Soul Point just yet. Taco Gaming, though, they are positioning themselves around this. They want to go ahead and grab this and put themselves in position to possibly get Soul Point if it goes to that stage of the game.
Yeah, I don't know how long we have left in this one. Obviously, there's that chance that Taco Gaming don't manage to close out before the Soul, and we actually see Tomato, Meslo, Actor really start to step up and use their late game capabilities to their best extent. But for this point in the game, Ariandel really not too much of a presence anymore, just by nature of playing Renekton. It's not going to be too easy for him to navigate. It's going to be acting more as that front line, and you can see the second item was an Anathema's Chains, so was, you know, definitely gearing up to be a tank more so to be a tank in the front line than to be that damage threat. Has done a very good job though at de-pushing this top lane wave, and you get a turret in response.
Yeah, he's going to get it. He does have to pop the Dominus for it, but he's also going to sacrifice his life for it. He gets dropped, and that is a kill going.
And look at the timing on it as well, right? He respawns in 45. Baron is up in 50. He's going to have to expend that TP if Taco Gaming are, you know, contesting or going for that Baron. If Supernova wish to contest, then it means that TP is going to need to be expended. It's not all doom and gloom. They do get a little bit of gold back onto Supernova. It's Ariandel's that's able to pick it up, but it means that they're going to have to use the TP. Meanwhile, the dragon did fall. It did go the way of Taco Gaming on the other side of the rift. So, as anticipated, really, for both these teams. And now Supernova, oh dear.
Yep, he has bought a ticket to his downfall. It is Meslo getting dropped. Unleashed power. There's no way you'll be able to survive that. And now Taco Gaming in full control of this mid lane. Tomato trying to poke out. Ariandel spawns up here. It will be 4 members available, but can they defend this? The surveys show no, but Pluto is looking for the engage. Ariandel teleported around the side. They haven't gotten it. This could be a fight, but Eclipse is getting kills left and right. It's a 1-4-2. Tomato is nowhere inside. He's just trying to fight up City Witty, but Rovex has other plans for him. Eclipse is in the back line protecting Gorica. Ariandel can't get away. It's the parlay and ace. Taco Gaming pick up a dub in game number 1.
Oh, beautiful team fight to round it out, and if it's not a Devour, it's a last-second Abyssal dive. Rovex once again able to save his jungler as Meslo tries to defend valiantly, but game number 1 is not going their way. Taco Gaming After some trials and jubilations of the early stages of the game, they come away with some nice late game team fights, and as soon as we got to that mid game, those team fights erupted, exactly as you highlighted, Travi. They came online and they came up good.
It's like Taco Gaming. Once they get into that 20-minute mark, you have to look over at the gold and be like, all right, is this enough for you to feel comfortable against Taco Gaming? I feel like if you look at the gold, it's almost never an answer of like, no, because they're so good at team fighting, man. Like, you pointed it out in the replays so much. I love the fact that this team, Taco Gaming, is so comfortable. Even when the low HP bars come into play, they're still hanging around in the fights. They know their limits, and they're really playing together and coordinating as a 5-person squad.
They are. They're looking to always make sure that however their team fight's set up, that they execute on it like that. I think that they are very good at managing those micro decisions in the moment as well. And the way City Witty was just playing so far forward on the games, we highlighted this player coming into it, even though had that early game that was, like I say, riddled with just invades, counter invades, all sorts of jungle matchup shenanigans. When we got to those later stages, he was the one again stepping forward, recognizing the limits of this Graze, recognizing what the enemy team could do to stop him and preventing those things from ever happening.
It was a beautiful game, but we still have more here as the series ain't over just yet. We're going to take ourselves a short break, and when we come back, we'll be going into game number 2 between Taco Gaming and Supernova, so do not touch that browser.